Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Engine Builder Show. Our topic for today will be how to outlast your competitors and win the long game. That's definitely a topic you business owners don't want to miss. With that said, enjoy the show. Good morning, everybody.
There was always a ton to learn.
Hey, guys, I'm sorry. We're just going through some technical difficulties, but not to worry. Gabe will hop back on. Let's just wait for him to come back. Thank you so much for tuning in always. We are now on our 60th episode this Friday, so that's a really big milestone for us. There you go. I think Gabe's back. There you go. Hey, Gabe.
All
Welcome
right,
back. No worries.
let's just roll.
There you go.
Let's just roll into it here.
All right, cool.
All right. So good morning, everyone. Sorry, I think I had a little bit of a connection issue there, so my apologies. But good morning, happy Friday. Hope you're all doing well. And as Jethro said, I'm going to talk about how to beat your competitors, outlast your competitors, and really win the long game in business. And this is something that I think is really important to think about and be aware of as an entrepreneur, because the there's so much around us that claims that you can instantly be successful, or you can use this cheat sheet or checklist, or you can make $1 million in a year. And well, those things at some level are true. Like there's always exceptions, there's always ways to do things like that. I have experienced massive, quote unquote, instant success. And most of that instant success, or those quick, shortcuts, don't last. Easy come, easy go is a saying for a reason, in my opinion. And so if we look around us, and we allow kind of like the normal culture around us to dictate how we operate our businesses, then we get discouraged. We don't ever actually get to build things that are going to last for years, and we can just have the wrong perspective and the wrong expectations. And expectations create a lot of suffering. They create a lot of inaccurate perspectives that make us struggle when we don't need to. And I always like I think it was last night, I opened up a Stella beer. It's a beer that I really enjoy drinking, and it says, on the bottom of the beer, on every can, it says, proudly brewed for over 600 years. And if you want to build something that's going to last 600 years, you've got to step out of the temporary, and you've got to change your perspective from thinking that everything is just like technology and the internet, where we can click and watch a video, or we can click, on Amazon and have it at our doorstep, the next day. And that's a real part of life. That's not actually how businesses are grown. Amazon's founder, Jeff Bezos, didn't just click and build a multi-billion-dollar business. He worked at it on a continual basis. And so the first thing we have to do when we want to start to build something that's going to last and outlast our competitors and really win the long game is we have to shift and change our expectations from instant gratification to a saying you've probably heard, or maybe you've heard different versions of this, but I tell myself I'm going to keep working at this until I succeed. There's no specific timeline. There's things that I do want to hit within certain timelines. But as an example, I've been working on a project that is coming to fruition and starting to actually work well this quarter. I've been working on it for 3 years, and I'm getting traction, and it's working, and there's new skills I had to pick up, and there's things I had to change in my mindset, and I had to bring the right team members in to do some things. And I've had to read and research and study and follow other people, and it's taken me 3 years to start to get some traction. And I'm confident that within this year and in next year, I'm going to achieve this big goal that I have. But if I would have had the mindset of like, oh, I just need to join this 90-day challenge, or I need to, read this quick hack, or I can hire this one consultant and they're going to solve everything for me, then I would, continually be just disappointed. But I've just had the mindset that until I succeed, I'm going to keep working at this. And so changing our expectations around what success looks like and what growing a business looks like, and, how to actually grow and succeed and outlast our competitors, that expectation point is really important. The second thing that is really helpful for me is, and I would encourage you to do as well, is study those who have played the long game and model after them. So look at the entrepreneurs who, have been entrepreneurs for decades and decades and continually just grow and improve and build businesses that make a really positive impact in the world. Look at the long-term athletes that have played, their sport for years and years and have become, masters at what they do. And look at authors who continually put out bestseller after bestseller after bestseller. Look at how they're operating and start to model after them, because they've definitely found success and modeled success. And when you can follow those people, even if you don't get to interact with them personally, if you read about them, research them, read their material, watch what they put out on video and things like that, you'll start to recognize patterns of success. And when you do that, you'll be able to go, okay, so I see that these, few different people that I've really looked at and studied are all doing these similar things. How can I adopt something similar, or how can I model that in my own life? That's what's going to help you just not only improve how you operate, how you execute on your ideas, but following people like that have had such a long-term, and successful, incrementally improving career, it will change your mindset and your perception of success. Because if we only follow around people that, and read about and allow ourselves to absorb things that talk about instant success, and all you have to do is do this for a couple of weeks, or, I went from 0 to, 6 figures in 3 months, or whatever your next big step is. If you only follow those people, you're going to be comparing yourself to someone that may or may not be being honest. In my experience, there's a grand amount of that propaganda out there that's just simply not true. And then for the people that it is true for, that's not your path, most likely. And often even the people that I know it's legitimate, it is true, they build something up and it crashes, and they build something up and it crashes because they don't have stability and a foundation to build something that's going to last and grow on and on and on, and have even the potential to be 100-year business, let alone a 600-year business. And so that's just important to follow people that are actually just faithful, consistent, or making incremental improvement. And that's the third thing is, in order to outlast your competitors, in order to grow a business that's massively profitable, solves the problems you want to solve, becomes the dream business that you want to have, make incremental improvements every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year. Those little incremental improvements are what matter. And in my opinion, it's way more important to compete against yourself every day and keep leveling up and challenge yourself to grow and improve and be better than it is to be overly concerned with what your competitors are doing. Because if you challenge yourself every day, you will ultimately become the best of the best, and your competitors will die off. I've seen it dozens of times over the years, not only in my own business and my own space, but as I watch other people that are massively successful. When they truly just buckle down and compete against themselves, then they far surpass anything that's going on, with the competition. And so that kind of mindset, that kind of long-term thinking is what's going to help you get out of the day-to-day stress of trying to achieve things that don't really matter, or, get out of that stressful place of thinking, oh, why didn't I instantly find success? So-and-so did that, or I saw some, loud talking head on the internet talking about how, all you have to do is hustle, 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 and you'll get you'll get what you need, or you have to do these things. There's so many loudmouths out there that don't actually have a foundation and credibility to prove what they're talking about. And so many of the people that stand up and, shout and chant about their way, many of them have been given that wealth by, a family member, or hit a lucky break and don't talk about how they actually got to their place of success. There's not a lot of transparency there. So when we set our expectations around something that's not even fully transparent and real, of course we're going to fail. It's not going to work in that sense. So shifting from looking at that instant gratification, or those kind of, quick upshot, the things that occur, shifting from that to just saying, okay, I'm just going to be persistent and consistent until I succeed. That will help you stabilize, and play the long game. Second thing, like I said, is study those events that have been successful truly over the years, not people that are popular just right now, but people that have grown and been successful year over year, decade over decade. And then third, just focus on making incremental improvements and compete against yourself. Because when you do that, you'll ultimately become one of the best in the world. One of my all-time favorites artists and rappers, Eminem, he talks about in so many of his songs, he talks about how he just competes against himself. He says, like, the only competition is in the mirror, he says in one of his songs. And he's truly one of the best in the world, and one of the top selling artists of all time. And he competes against himself, and he works his craft day in and day out when nobody is looking, when nobody even thinks he's active. He's writing, he's practicing his craft, he's trying to be the best there is, and he's competing against himself. And so that daily practice, that incremental improvement, is ultimately what leads to him being one of the best in the world. And he's not out there comparing himself to others, and he's not trying to just jump on a trendy bandwagon. He's trying to bring out the best work in himself. And that's what I believe we should all do, is really just focus on our own excellence and stepping up our own game. And then as we do that, you will outlast your competitors. You'll be playing the long game, and you'll have to really lean in and learn about yourself and get to know yourself. And that's a huge part of this entrepreneurial journey, is getting to know yourself, growing and improving who you are, loving yourself more, and really just, focusing on that long-term, that long-term game. So hope that's useful to you. Hope you have an amazing Friday, and I look forward to seeing everybody next week.